Welcome to Small Biz Mama, episode 10. 5 things you can do to restart the year off right. Okay, so when I decided to start this podcast, the intention was to start the podcast in January, and this was supposed to be a start your year off right episode. However, I think a lot of us got derailed with the pandemic. And so it almost feels, at least to me, like we're starting the year over, right? So I know a lot of you are either gearing up to restart your businesses, you've just reopened your businesses, or maybe you just kind of got into a lull because of the pandemic. And some of us have been so busy, we didn't have time to take a breather. So I want you to think of this period as a restart. One thing that I really love, so I was doing a training recently with Brendan Burchard. I'm in his HPX training, and he talks about, instead of using quarters, he uses seasons. And for me, that makes a lot of sense, not only because I'm a college professor, but also because of tax season, doing Q2 planning has always been really rough for me because Q2 is the end of tax season, and then kind of like the beginning of new things, but I never really had time to sit down and do that planning because, March is so busy. So I really love that he does his planning based on seasons. So the summer season would be June, July, and August, right? And then fall would be September, October, November, and winter would be December, January, February. And then spring would be March, April, May. And so I really like that because that works better with the cycle of our business than trying to actually do like quarters, right? So your typical year quarter. So I really, really like that. I like seasons. So I'm thinking of this as a new season, that we're coming up on June. We're coming up on the summer season. What is that going to look like for your business? What is that going to look like for your life and for your family? And so I'm really thinking about this as a restart to the rest of the year. And so I want to talk about 5 things that you can do to help kind of restart your year, to get your business going again, maybe to kind of pause. And these are things that typically I start to think about at the beginning of every year. But I think that this is a really good time to do some of these things. And if you haven't yet, gone full swing to reopen your business yet, these are kind of some things that you can do in the interim while you're waiting that are going to put your business in a really good place for when you get started. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this. All right. So the first thing that I want you to do, if you don't already have one, is you need to get a computer backup subscription. So with all of the, we've been putting a lot of pressure on our computers and the rest of our devices during the pandemic. I know a lot of people are sharing their computers with their kids for classes. Hopefully you didn't have any computer issues as we were going through this, but I know a lot of families that did. And so one thing that I'd recommend is that you have some sort of computer backup subscription. Now, if you go to the show notes at smallbizmama.com, we will list out some services for computer backup. We use Carbonite. Carbonite has saved my butt a number of times. It saved my clients' butts a number of times. It just happens in the background. It just runs. It backs up everything on your computer. Another thing that you can do if you have reliable internet is you can use a Google Drive, or you can use Microsoft OneDrive, you can use a Dropbox and save all of your important files there instead of putting them on your computer. Because really, for us, the bigger thing is, file storage. It's not so much programs, because the programs are easy to get. And a lot of the programs we use are in the cloud now anyways. So it's really file storage. The other thing that I like about having digital file storage is that as we talk about item number 4, it'll be really useful to make sure that your documents are shareable. Okay, so number 1, make sure you have a computer backup subscription or some sort of online document storage. Okay, the second thing that you want to do if you haven't done this yet is create digital and paper 2020 receipt folders. Now I know what you're thinking, Kristen, we're halfway through the year. However, if you do this now, instead of waiting until January of 2021 to do it, it's going to help you keep your receipts organized. Now, people ask me, okay, so how many folders do I need to have? How complicated does this need to be? I have one digital folder and I have one paper folder. Okay, so I have 2 folders, a digital and a paper. That's it. And a lot of times what I do is, the reason I have the paper one is that is actually stuff that's waiting to be scanned into the digital folder. Okay, and then those receipts I get rid of, and then everything is digital. But you're like, but wait, I have to categorize everything between office and equipment. No, you really don't. And there's a couple of reasons for this. And this is me putting my CPA hat on, okay? But the way that I look at it is if everything is digital, it's searchable, okay? And even if it's not, let's say that you put everything in a paper folder and you keep it. The likelihood that you're going to get audited by the IRS is very, very low. And if you do get audited, then you can take some time and sort out all your receipts. But there's no point in doing it in advance, okay? Even if you need to find a receipt because you need to return something or you want to dispute something, you're typically going to do that within 30 days of the purchase. And if you do that, it's going to be right on top of the folder, right? Because if you put things in the folder, right, every time you file something in, you put it on top of whatever was in there before, and then everything's in chronological order. So I think sometimes we create busy work for ourselves because we don't want to do the important things in our business. Think about that for a second. Sometimes we create busy work for ourselves so we don't have to do the important things in our business. And I don't want you to do that with filing. Okay, this is not something that should be taking up a lot of time. I literally have, so like next to me over here, I have this little thing on my desk, and I'll take a picture of it at some point. And it has like a couple shelves on it, and it has like a room, like that much room for file folders. Okay, and that's like still too much room for me. And I have a 2020 receipts folder. I have one for business and one for personal. And the personal one, everything comes in digitally, so there really isn't anything that goes in there. But my digital one, I put all my home office stuff. I put in any major purchases for the house. And that's it. It doesn't have to be complicated. Okay, but if you haven't done that already, make sure that you create those folders and then just start putting stuff. Don't even worry about going back. Okay, don't worry about going backwards. Just start putting stuff in as of today. Okay, and then what I find is like, if I'm doing searches and I find my old electric bills, then I'll put those in there. If you come across something that should go in there, put it in there. But don't create yourself more work. Okay, just create the folders and start using them going forward. Okay, so number 1, get a computer backup subscription. Number 2, create digital and paper 2020 receipt folders. Okay. All right, so number 3. Now this is I want you to kind of sit and focus in on this a little bit. Don't just kind of brush it off and go, yeah, okay. Determine what is really important to you and surround yourself with it. Okay, so what is really important to you? And I think a lot of us during the pandemic have reevaluated what is important to us, right? I know Jeff and I have done this. What is really important to you and surround yourself with it. So one thing, Jeff and I, we want to move. And so what we are doing is Jeff like looks at real estate every day. And when he favorites a house, I get it, right? So it comes to me. And so what I've been doing is I'm printing out the features that I like, and I am putting them, I'm actually printing them out, okay? And I'm starting to put them up in the office because this is inspiring me to get all the pieces in order that we need to get in order to be able to move, okay? Do you love beautiful flowers? Do you love beautiful art? Do you love beautiful books? What is your thing, right? Is it the people that you love, right? What is the thing that is important to you? Surround yourself with it. Okay, I love this. We spend so much time going through our lives and being unhappy with the way our houses look, being unhappy with how we look, being unhappy with just everything around us. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. What is important to you? Just figure it out. And I know for some of us it's kind of hard. I love flowers and I love plants. So we're starting to put plants in the house. We've never had plants in the house because we've had cats. And so we're starting to find plants that are cat safe, that are Eric safe. And I'm getting plants. Okay. And we're growing a garden this year. And, and for me, one of the things that is important, especially, I figured out during the season, is important for me to slow down. And so I'm slowing down because that's important to me, right? So think about what that is for you. Okay, determine what is really important and surround yourself with it. Okay, and if you need help with that, reach out to the show. You can contact us at support@smallbizmama.com. And if you want me to talk about that some more on the show, I can do that. Okay, so number 4. So remember we said get a computer backup subscription, save your files online so they're easily accessible, because number 4 is hire more help. Okay, and this is actually, I know some of you are thinking, I can't possibly hire more help because, money's really tight. Okay, so you can't afford not to hire more help. And I have over here, I'll put a link in the show notes. This is Your World-Class Assistant by Michael Hyatt. Okay, and like I said, I'll put a link in the show notes. It's a really, look, it's a short book. It's not, those of you that are watching the video, it's a really, really short book. It's only, I don't know, it's 127 pages and they're like double spaced. Okay. This is all about hiring an executive assistant in your business. Oh my God, I'm reading this book. I'm so excited about getting an executive assistant. And if you want to be our executive assistant, go to incremdigitalmedia.com. The application is up on the website. We're going to be taking applications probably through June 15th or until, we fill the position. June 15th of 2020, I should say that since we're recording. And we'll put a link in the show notes for episode 10. But I'm going to be hiring an executive assistant to start off about 10 hours a week. And this person is going to help me run my schedule, help me do, like some of our basically this person is going to manage me, right? That's basically the gist of the position. It's going to be the person that manages my schedule, manages my email, manages my communications, helps me say no more often, helps me get more organized with the multiple brands that I'm running, and just kind of helps make my life easier. So there's a whole job description, even if you just want to see, what we're hiring, and the job description and all that, which a lot of it is based off of what's in Michael Hyatt's book. But it's the thing that's wonderful about this book is if you do want to hire someone, he has all of these templates, all of these resources. So when you buy the book, you're really getting a pack of assets. Job description, onboarding. There's this great spreadsheet that has like all of that you put all of your info in so that your executive assistant has it. So just getting the book kind of unlocks all of that stuff for you. And it's really, really fantastic. So, but I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we feel that we need to do it alone until we have the money to bring somebody on full time. There's even an agency that they list in here that in the book that can help you find an EA and part-time. Okay, so if you want to start off like Michael Hyatt started off at 10 hours a week. That's what we're going to start off with. And then, we're going to increase the hours as needed. But it's funny because as I was reading through the book and they're talking about the things that an EA can do for you, I got super excited, right? They can, like I say, we need to order this, right? But it's not just ordering this because you have to do all the research, right? So like, let's say you need a new printer for your business. It's not just ordering the printer, it's doing all the research and the reviews and where's the best pricing, and your EA could do that for you. If you're looking at pieces of software and you need to evaluate them, your EA can do that for you. Your EA can do, first pass on your email, can manage your schedule for you, can help put your to-do list together. Like, it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. So I'm really, really excited about hiring for this position, but we're doing it slow. We're being deliberate, and so I'm really excited about that. So number 4, hire more help. Okay. And, typically what we do is we hire out, we get people to do our social, we get people to do, build websites for us and that kind of thing. But we leave all those little menial tasks on our schedule. And so I'm really in favor, and I'll probably do a whole episode on this later on. I'm really in favor of hiring yourself a personal assistant or an executive assistant or, a virtual assistant to help you directly before you start farming out some of this other stuff. And they can take some of those tasks off your plate for you. But I think that, I'm so excited about this. I really am. I can't even tell you. Can you tell I'm excited? I was reading the onboarding part of the book last night and I was like, and Jeff, she could do this, or he, right? But they could do this and they could do that and they could do this. And I was so excited. So, and I'll keep you guys up to date on how that process goes. Okay. And then the last thing, and I know, I've seen things on social media where people are like, I don't know why I bought a 2020 planner. It was useless. Okay. You need to get your planners back out. Okay. Whatever planner you're using, you need to put some schedule in your day. Okay. one of the trainings I did with Brendan Burchard earlier this year, and this was when the pandemic started too. He said, ambition sucks without a calendar. And I love that. And I absolutely agree. I know when my productivity starts to wane, the first thing I do is I go look at my planner to see if I've been, how actively I've been using it. And I do, and I could tell, like, there are days that I don't go in it at all. Okay. The days that I go into my planner, I sketch out what I think my day is going to look like. And even, listen, what I'm doing now, right, is I'm literally going in and I just create my blocks. So I have a work block in the morning, and my work block starts at 8:30, goes from 8:30 to 11:30. And then I've got another work block from 1 to 2:30. And then what I do is I write down the things that I want to get done during those blocks. And one block is like my work block, and one block is my admin block. So I'm recording this during my work block. Okay. I do taxes during my work block. I do school stuff during my work block. If it's like curriculum development. Then I've got my admin block. Now my admin block is things like email, internal bookkeeping, setting up systems, things that don't require as much creativity or brain power. I do in the afternoon. I typically do grading in the afternoon. I typically do, internal Ingram Digital Media stuff or internal KLI CPA stuff. But I have these two distinct blocks. And the nice thing I find is that because I have these two distinct blocks, I do not spend a lot of time doing admin stuff during my work block because I know I've got a work block coming up. So that also means I usually don't check my email until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is pretty nice. I like that. All right, so make sure that you're at least sketching out your day. And I know some of you are very resistant to scheduling, but you have to have some sort of plan for what you're going to do every day. Okay, so the things that I plan in the morning, okay, is I think of, okay, so what are the things that I want to do today and that I have to do today? So for example, like my walk is one of the things that's on my to-do list for today. What am I gonna pick up around the house? Make sure I meditate, make sure I read, make sure that I fill out everything in my Noom app today. I'm gonna go live on Facebook later today. I'm doing my podcast recording. Okay. I've got some client work I want to do. I have some IDM administrative stuff I need to do. I need to do some grading tonight because when I'm recording this, it's finals. And so and then I kind of sketch out what it's going to look like. I put my blocks in my day. I kind of look at it again and say, is it realistic? I figure out what we're going to do for dinner because that's really important too. I don't want to be up at 4 o'clock and go, oh crap, what are we going to do for dinner? I kind of want to have a plan, especially if I need to take something out of the freezer, if I need to put something in the crock pot, I want to be thinking about that now. Okay. So that's what I have. Okay. That's what I'm doing with my calendar. But you really need to make sure it's a plan for your day. Right. And it's really hard to get a lot done if you don't know what you need to do, right? So just doing that little bit every day. Another thing that I found to be super effective is Brendan has like a Friday finish list. And basically what that is when you do your weekly planning, you figure out what is everything I need to get done by Friday. And then you pull things off that list every day to put into your daily schedule. So that really helps too. Okay. So I hope that you will, you'll kind of use this as a checklist, as a guide, okay, to help you restart your year. I know it's almost mid-year, but I think that these things are really helpful to getting yourself in the right frame of mind and getting yourself in the right place to make sure that the rest of 2020 is awesome for you. All right, mamas, thank you so much for listening. If you like this episode, please make sure that you subscribe wherever you are, wherever you're listening or you're watching. Make sure that you tell your friends about us. If you go to the website at smallbizmama.com, we have all sorts of buttons that you can share out the show. We hope that you'll do that. And thank you so much for listening. It means the world to me that you are here. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks, mamas.
Thank you for listening to Small Biz Mama with Kristen Ingram. If you'd like to learn how to create more margin in your life, please visit us at smallbizmama.com. That's smallbizmama.com.